welcome back. So as you saw in the last video, I ran into some issues on Project Broken Unicorn. She's more broken than I thought. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to go back and check that out for some context about what we're talking about here. If you did see that video and liked it, like it. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe, hit the little bell notification, whatever you want to do. All right, let's take a look at the parts that are hopefully going to save Project Broken Unicorn. Now, the number one thing I do when I'm looking for a vehicle, when I go to buy a vehicle, is I always like to get it from somebody who's a fellow car enthusiast, because I like to just pick their brain and see how much they know about that car. Because the more they know about it, the more they've worked on it, and the more they've replaced, and the better care they've taken that vehicle. Now, the guy that I bought it from, he crazy BMW guy. Like, he loves German cars. He has multiple M3s. He had a Mercedes sitting in the parking lot. His wife had a 335. Like, they were BMW, German luxury people. Like, they love these cars. And I hit him up because when I bought the vehicle from him, he gave me a few parts. He gave me like valve cover gasket and this hydraulic actuator for the liftgate, which is very cool, very nice of him. I always like when a car comes with some extra parts because it saves you money down the road. I don't actually need the hydraulic actuator yet, but I might one day. And I just asked him, I said, I know you got some other parts for that car. Do you happen to have an axle? He said yes, which, awesome. And then I said, well, how much do you need to get for that axle? You know, I'm looking at spending like $300 on an aftermarket one, used, let me know what you're thinking. And he said free, just come get it. So, brand new axle. Look at that. We're going to open it up, take a look at it, see if we can figure out what brand it is. So, yeah, shout out to Blake. That's awesome. He also gave me rotors. Yeah. They look rusty, but I'm telling you now, they're brand new. They're brand new. They've just been sitting around for a while. They have no lip on them. The metal looks like it still has like the zinc coating on it. It's not tarnished or anything. They're brand new rotors. I just got to clean the rust off of them. He also gave me brand new pads. I mean, look at the meat on that thing. There's a ton of meat on these. The backside looks completely clean. There's some dust. The one thing I don't know is I don't know how to tell the manufacturer part, because he didn't have any like the box information, obviously, because these were on a car for a few hundred miles. And there are some numbers on the back, and it starts with AK, so maybe Akibono. That would be nice. They look like decent pads. If anybody knows how to read these markings on the back, or can look for, like a manufacturer mark or something like that, please leave a comment and let me know. I also ran out and got a 3/4 drive breaker bar. That thing's heavy duty. That's sweet. I've always wanted a 3/4 drive something. This should definitely break the axle nuts off. It's not long enough, but I got a cheater bar, so I think we can make this happen. And that will pair nicely with the axle nut that I also bought. 36 millimeter 12 point. Very important to get the 12 point because it's a 12 point nut. Still waiting for one other box, and that's going to have a few other parts in it because there is something important that goes on this axle, and it's leaking. And I want to show you underneath the car how it works, because it's something that BMW does that it's crazy that they even do this, but I know why they do it, and it's very smart. Yeah, so we're going to start disassembling the front end. The other package should arrive here soon, and I'll give you guys a little opening box on that. Box opening, whatever it's called. All right, we got the axle out of the package here, and I'm just taking a look at it. I have no idea what brand this is. Neither did he. He just said he had it laying around. He bought it a while back. He knows it's aftermarket, but he wasn't really sure where it came from. It could be eBay special. It could be a decent aftermarket like a GKN. I know it's not a GKN because they have a black shaft here and there's a tag on it because that's a GKN on the other side. So it's not a GKN. It's not OEM, I can tell you that. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's maybe a short track. Just taking a look at it, it doesn't look too bad. It looks decently built. The splines look pretty good. The machining marks on it don't look that bad. So there are some things that are making me a little nervous. So this joint, that works pretty well. That's nice and lubed up. That feels real smooth. This joint, that feels a lot more sandy. Like there's not enough grease in there. So I'd like to take this thing apart, this boot off, just snip it right here, take the boot back, re-grease it, take a look at that. That makes me a little nervous. And also what's odd, the axle nut is a 6-point axle nut instead of a 12-point. I don't know why they would have done that. The 12-point will fit on the 6-point, but I think I'm just going to get the OEM axle nut. My thought is, it's a free axle. I'm going to take a look at it the best I can, make sure, make a call if I'm going to put this in my car. I don't see anything that's standing out right now that would make me, hesitate, make me think it's going to fail right away or something catastrophic is going to happen. Maybe it only lasts 30, 40,000 miles. Then it does. That's not too bad. The car has 130,000 miles on it now. At that point, I'm looking at rebuilding a lot more than just the axle. So let's take this boot off and take a look at that. So I got this off. It was pretty easy. Just pry that off and then push it off, and this just pulls back. And as you can see, it's full of grease. Well, maybe you can't see. Probably see it now. It looks good in there. Maybe the grease just got to work into the hub. I don't know. I'm going to just try to smush the grease back and just feeling the grease in my finger. It's got definitely got a graphite or something in it. I don't know about that. It's a little sticky, which grease is supposed to be, but I don't think it's actually sticky enough. So let's get some more of this. Yeah, just feeling it through my fingers. I think I want to re-grease this. Get some good bearing grease. I think that'll really help a lot. Doesn't feel that bad though. I don't know. Gotta make a decision here. Here we are on the passenger side of the vehicle. This is the side with the messed up axle. And the first thing I need to do is I need to get the flange out of the gap there, right in there. And you can see I started doing it, but I want to get a little further. So I just took a drill bit and drilled the flange there. I think I'm going to just drill it again, drill the bottom here. Just get them out of there. And then I need to put the rotor, which is down there, and the caliper back on. I don't really need to snug them down, just get them in place basically. And then I got to lower the vehicle, put the wheel back on, then lower the vehicle, and bust this nut loose. Let's get it done. As you can see, the rotor and caliper are back on. I just lightly tighten the bolts down. I'm not going to be using them. I just need them on there so they're out of the way and the wheel can snug up where it needs to be so I can crack this axle nut loose. I also drilled into there. You can see I drilled into the flange. Yeah, it's all galled up, but I honestly don't care. I'm going to replace the axle and the nut anyway, so it doesn't mean anything to me. As long as the hub looks good, which it does, we're fine. Let's put the wheels back on and get this thing lowered. I am back on the driver's side, and I want to torque this nut down first just because I want to get this side wrapped up. Get that win in, make me feel good, and I can tackle the other side. The only thing that needs to happen, I got to tighten this up, pound that flange back in, and this side's all wrapped up. So I need to put a big breaker bar on this thing because the torque setting on this is 310 foot-pounds. I do not have a 310 foot-pound torque wrench or one that's capable of doing that. I have a big breaker bar. So I did a little bit of math instead. I took a 310, divided that by my body weight, 206. COVID has not been nice to me. And got 1.5. I then took that 1.5, multiplied that times 12, that's inches. So I converted the foot to inches, and that gave me 18. I marked 18 inches down at the end there. That's 18 inches from the center of the socket. I'm going to stand on that right at that point there, and that should apply 310 foot-pounds of torque. Technically 309. So maybe I'll move just a tad over. I don't think 1 foot-pound is going to matter, though. Let's see how this ends. Hopefully it gets torqued down. Hopefully it doesn't end with me falling. Back on the passenger side here. Our side is torqued down. Let's break this one loose. yeah, hopefully this goes well. That attempt to get the nut off was unsuccessful. I put a cheater bar on that. I actually put a bigger cheater bar than you saw on the time lapse. Still couldn't get it off. So I think there's maybe some bits of the flange still stuck down in there. So I went and got some cutoff wheels for my rotary tool. Yeah, look at that nice Dremel brand. It actually has like this little cool quick connect thing, easy connect or whatever it's called for Dremel. So that's nice. I don't have a Dremel brand, but still fit in there. Let's go see if we can cut this flange up. If this doesn't work, then I'm moving to using a torch, trying to heat it up. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to try to see if I can borrow a impact. Let's see what we can do. That was a hell of a job there getting this thing off, but I did, and when it broke loose, whew, tell you what, that felt good. I'm covered in sweat, but I can tell you now, I haven't felt this good all week. Hell of a thing. Had to do a little jig. Whew, that was hard to get off. Covered in sweat, but I can tell you now, I feel good. I feel real good. I feel invincible. Hell yeah.